there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and for this video I'm going to be doing another little story time sort of video. This one is very exciting. It happened a while ago. It was actually just over 3 years ago now, and I've mentioned it once before on my channel, but it was during a tag, so it was kind of like in the middle of that, but I really wanted to talk more about it because what happened was kind of the best thing that's ever happened to me ever. And that is, I won a competition that flew me from Brisbane, Australia to New York, put me in a hotel on Times Square, and let me go to the Red Carpet Insurgent premiere. So if you want to hear about that, keep watching. If you know anything about me, you would know that the Divergent trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Well, it is my favorite trilogy of all time. I love it so much. I've been with it from the very beginning. I absolutely adore Veronica Roth's writing, and I just love the entire story around it, and the books are just absolutely incredible, and I love them so much. When the first movie was being released, a page called the Divergent series is what the page is called. It was basically the official Australian Divergent page on Facebook. They put on this competition that was for the Australian premiere in Sydney, and I live in Brisbane, and so that would include my flight from Brisbane to Sydney and then going to the Australian premiere and all that sort of stuff. And the competition wasn't based on luck, so it wasn't just like you entered and then hope to win. It was based on liking posts, commenting on posts, sharing posts. They had daily competitions that you could enter into that gave you points. You could invite friends to join the competition, and just inviting them gave you points, and then if they actually entered into the competition, then that gave you points. And so it was just all of this stuff that gave you points to hopefully in the end win the competition. And I ended up winning the Divergent one, and I was so excited. I would have been 14 at this time. They flew me and my mom to Sydney, put us in a hotel, and then we got to go to the Australian premiere. We got there the morning of the premiere, and then the premiere was that night, and then we were there for the next day as well. And so that was absolutely incredible. I love that so much. It was basically, I got to see the movie a couple days early at the Australian premiere. There weren't really any celebrities there. There was a couple people from like Home and Away, but I didn't really watch Home and Away at all. So yeah, so that was that. When the following year rolled around, so 2015, beginning of 2015, when the Insurgent movie was announced, the Divergent series page on Facebook also announced a competition to go along with the Insurgent movie. And this one was a little bit more high stakes because, like I mentioned earlier, this one was going to New York and getting to go to the official red carpet American premiere of the movie, getting to see all the actors, and then getting to see the movie before anybody else. Because I had already won the Divergent competition that flew me to Sydney, I knew that I had at least a chance of winning this competition, and so I put my all into winning this competition. The competition only went for a week, so basically during that week you had to share, like, comment, and do all of this stuff every day with every post that they made. The prize was 2 return economy international flights from Australia to New York, 4 nights in at least a 3-star accommodation in New York, which they put us in a really nice hotel in Times Square. It was great. Attendance at the New York US premiere of the Divergent series Insurgent, and also $1,500 spending money that you could spend for anything while you were in New York. And I read this, I was freaking out, and I just knew I had to enter. I had to try, because this would be the chance of a lifetime. And so during that week, I was doing absolutely everything I could. I went through and added hundreds of friends. Like, everybody that I had ever seen at school or anywhere, I added them. so that I could get more points. I was keeping track of everybody I had sent an invite to. I was keeping track of how many points I should have. I had like an entire sort of spreadsheet in a notebook of points that I should have. And because we, in the actual sort of competition app that we signed up for, we got a tally of points at the end of each day of the competition. And so if my points weren't adding up, then I would message the page and be like, hey, I meant to have this many points, I don't have this many points. I was on top of it. I wanted nothing more than to win this competition. They told us what day they were meant to be announcing the competition on, but they didn't tell us like when or anything like that. They just said that they were going to be contacting a winner on this certain day, and if you got a call, then you won. So I had school this day, and I was sitting in my first class and my phone starts buzzing. My heart immediately drops to the bottom of my stomach. It starts beating out of my chest. I started freaking out, and I didn't answer the call because I was in class and I didn't know what to do, and so I just let it ring out. And I turned to one of my friends that I was sitting at the table with, and I was like, I think I might have just won a competition to New York. And she was like, you have to go call them back. And so I went and asked the teacher, I was like, hey, this is like a really important phone call, can I go and call them back? And he said, luckily, yes. And so I went and stood outside the classroom and I called them back, and they told me that I had won this competition to New York. I was 15 at this point. They said to have my mom call them back when I got home later that day, and they would figure out all of the flights and everything to do with that. And as soon as I got on lunch, I called my mom and was like, we're going to New York. And she had gone with me to the Divergent one, and she had read all the books and loved them as well, and so obviously I was gonna take her. That day was just so surreal to me, because like, what do you even think? Like, how does that even work? Like, how is that even something that's possible and something that happens to people? This was a really fast turnaround. So I got the call on the 6th, March 6th, telling me that I had won, and the premiere was on March 16th. Me and my mom decided, because I'm originally from America, I'm from Seattle, so me and my mom decided that we would take a portion of the $1,500 that we got to spend while we were in New York, and we would spend it on flights to Seattle to go and see our family for a couple of days. So the company that put on the competition was Entertainment One, which was the company that produced the Divergent films in Australia, and they were super nice about everything, and they actually were able to put it together where if we paid for our flights from New York to Seattle, they would then pay for our flights from Seattle back to Brisbane, rather than having us have to pay for our flights back to New York, which was really amazing of them. So yeah, the time came, and me and my mom flew to New York for the premiere. The 5 days that I was there honestly completely flew by. It was so amazing. I love New York so much. We fit so much into the 5 days that we were there. We went and saw Mamma Mia on Broadway, which was incredible. We walked around Central Park. We went to Carlos Bakery, which was absolutely incredible. I have watched Cake Boss for years, and anytime that it was on, I would make sure that I was watching it. And so getting to go to where Cake Boss was filmed and getting to try like a cannoli and a lobster tail and that sort of stuff was absolutely incredible, and there was people there from the show, and that was amazing. And yeah, I got to see Times Square all lit up. It was absolutely incredible. It was the first time I've been to New York. It's still the only time I've been to New York, but oh, I loved it so much. And then the day of the premiere rolled up. There was a bunch of different competitions that had won to come to this premiere. We were told to go to a hotel to meet up. Everybody that had won the competition went to this hotel, and then we walked over to where the premiere was, and there was a bunch of people outside, like fans waiting outside where this premiere was. And it was in like there was like this big white tent setup sort of thing, and that's where the premiere was inside. So all of the actors and everybody that was there for the red carpet pulled up on the road outside. They met some of the people that had been waiting outside, and then they came in for the red carpet. So inside where the red carpet was, there was, on one side was a bunch of different press places, and then all of the people that had won competitions to be in the red carpet area were on the other side of the red carpet. And I was in the front row of the red carpet, which was incredible, and I'm honestly so grateful. Like, how did that even happen? I brought this book with me because it's Insurgent and I wanted people to be able to sign it. Yeah, we stood there and all of the actors came down and walked down the side where all of the news outlets were, and then once they were done talking to all of them, they would come over to our side. And I was the only person, pretty much the only person there who had brought something for them to sign, at least something substantial like a book that they could actually see. And so when the actors would come over to our side, they would pretty much all come directly to my area. I pretty much got to meet everybody that was there. There was a few people that I didn't get to meet. I didn't get to meet the three main people in the movie, so Ansel Elgort, Shailene Woodley, and Theo James, just because the three of them came in last because they were like the biggest stars. I'll read you out a list of the people that I met. I'll also insert in photos, the photos here that my mom took. Some of them I got photos with the people, and then some of them my mom just got photos of me, of them like signing my book and everything. There was two people there that weren't a part of the movie, but I got to meet anyways. The first person was Peyton List, and she was in Jessie, which I absolutely loved growing up. And yeah, so that was kind of cool to get to meet her. And then the other person was Dylan McDermott. I didn't know who he was because I had never watched American Horror Story, which I know that that's where he's from, but I had never watched it, so I didn't really know who he was. My mom has watched American Horror Story. My mom loves American Horror Story, and she was like, Tegan, you need to get a photo with him. So that's where this photo came in. One of the people I got to meet was Dae Kim, which he plays the Candor head, the head of Candor in the films, but he's also in Lost, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So that was absolutely insane getting to meet him. Like, what? I also got to meet Kenan Lonsdale, who, oh my god, I love Uriah so much. Especially, I've been rereading the series, and just rereading it has just introduced me more to how much I love Uriah. But yeah, I got to meet Kenan Lonsdale, who is also in Love, Simon, and that's one of my new favorite movies of all time, so it's pretty cool that I got to meet him a few years ago. I got to meet Zoe Kravitz, who plays Christina, and she was so nice. Yeah, I got to meet her. I got to meet Mekhi Phifer, is that how you pronounce his name? Mekhi Phifer? Mekhi Phifer? I don't know. I suck at pronouncing names. But yes, I got to meet him, and he plays a bad guy in the films, but you know, obviously I wanted to meet him. I also got to meet Octavia Spencer, who plays Joanna, who is the head of Amity, the head of the Amity faction. And she's been in a few big movies, so that was kind of incredible getting to meet her. I got to meet Jai Courtney, who plays Eric. And although Eric is an awful person, Jai Courtney is so sweet, and Jai's also Australian. Absolutely incredible getting to meet him. Yes, absolutely incredible. And then I also got to meet Suki Waterhouse, who plays Marlene in the movie. She has a really small part in the movies, but yeah, I got to meet her as well, and she was really sweet, and that was amazing. And then I got to meet Miles Teller. Okay. Miles Teller plays Peter. Peter is Peter is an awful character in the books. He's awful. He's a horrible person, especially in the first couple books. He gets better as the series goes on, but especially in the first book, he's an awful person. But he's up there with my favorite characters in the movies, because he wasn't as bad in the movies. And yeah, I just love him in the movies. And I love Miles Teller so much. He's an absolutely incredible actor and person, and he's like my favorite person that I met that day. That was absolutely insane, especially because he plays my favorite character in the movies, and then also just getting to meet him, and he's an amazing person and so sweet. The last person that I actually got to meet was Veronica Roth, who is the author of the series. That to this day is still one of the best things that has ever happened to me, because these books, I read the first Divergent book right after it came out. Because my parents saw it, they thought I would enjoy it, they bought it for me, and I read it pretty much as soon as it came out, and I followed the series all the way through to the end. I read each book, well, Insurgent and Allegiant, on release day. And getting to meet her, I didn't even know that she was gonna be there. She just walked out and I freaked out. It was absolutely incredible. And honestly, getting the chance to meet one of your absolute favorite authors, like I've met authors in the past, but Veronica Roth is just different, because like the Divergent trilogy is just one of my favorite things in the entire world. I love it so much, and yeah, getting the chance to meet her was absolutely insane and incredible. Ansel Elgort, Shailene Woodley, and Theo James all sort of came out at the same time, but Ansel Elgort came out first, and he walked down the line and he turned to come and talk to us. He got to the end of the press line and he turned and was walking over to talk to us and meet us all, and then he got called back to do one last interview, and while he was doing that last interview we had to leave, so I almost got to meet Ansel Elgort. Almost. But he did turn around and he was so sweet, and like he turned around and he was like, oh, what's all this? When he got called back to the last interview, he was like, okay, don't worry guys, I'll be right back. But yeah, we didn't end up getting the chance to meet him. And then Shailene Woodley and Theo James came out as well. They waved to us, but yeah, we didn't get the chance to meet them because they were the last people that came out, but I got to see them. I was in proximity of them. I will show you the signatures that I got. This one is Veronica Roth. She didn't sign this page because I didn't know that she was going to be there, and so for some reason I had Octavia Spencer sign this page. But yeah, so Veronica Roth signed it there, and then Octavia Spencer signed it on that page, and then that's a few other signatures there. So that's Jai Courtney's there, and then Kenan Lonsdale's is there. I'm pretty sure that this one down here is Mekhi Phifer's. This one is Zoe Kravitz, and then this one is Dae Kim. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then at the back of the book, Suki Waterhouse signed it there and said Tegan loves Suki, and then signed it, and then that's Miles Teller's signature there. This is like my most prized possession. Like, I still can't believe that I own this and that even happened. And then yeah, we left to go to watch the movie, and although the movie definitely was not the same as the book at all, it wasn't as bad as Allegiant, but it wasn't the same. I feel like my experience of it and my enjoyment level of it was definitely increased by being at the premiere and being one of the first people in the entire world to watch the movie, and having just met all of the actors in the movie and then seeing them play in the movie. It was insane. Honestly, the best time of my life, and I'm still like, I still can't even believe that it happened. Like, I think about it and it does not feel real because it's so surreal and it's so insane, and that's such like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, who gets flown to New York to get to go to the Insurgent premiere and meet all these people? Like, they flew me from Australia to New York. I don't even know, like, it was so insane, and I'm so grateful, and thank you to, I know this is like 3 years later, but like, I will never be able to give all of my thanks to Entertainment One and to the Divergent people in Australia, the producers of Divergent in Australia, because they made my dreams come true, and it was absolutely incredible, and I am so thankful and so grateful that that even happened. But yeah, that was the story of how I was flown to New York, put in a hotel on Times Square, and got to go to the Insurgent premiere and meet all of the actors. So that's the story of the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And I think I'm going to end this video here because it has already been a very long one. But if you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And you can subscribe to my channel if you want to be told when I post new videos. I make videos on all sorts of things, fandoms, music, books, everything. So if any of that piques your interest, then hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video today. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!